Well, hello, you guys. So excited to be here today. This is one of my favorite calls that we get to do. And this is where you get to hear stories of people who are getting students. And this is really incredible because this is one of the things that we always want to know. How do I get students? How do I market my online tutoring business, all of that great stuff. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining us. This is an exciting day. And you're going to get to hear the stories of other tutors who are making it work. They get to be their own boss. They get to come up with their own schedule and work the hours that they want to work. And it's just an incredible thing. And I know there's lots of crazy things that are happening right now in China, where people who are ESL tutors, they're not like VIP Kid, those kinds of places, they can't hire people from the US anymore. And I believe that starts in January. So, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And I just want you guys to know that there is hope here and that there are lots of different things that we can do. So we're going to start off. I'm going to introduce you guys to Liz. We've got Liz Oakley here. Liz, tell everybody a little bit more about who you are.
Well, thank you for having me. I was a teacher for 23 years and decided to, for some medical reasons, to quit my classroom job and wanted to start tutoring. Didn't really know what to do, so I found the Jumpstart program, which has been wonderful. I've done a lot of in-person tutoring and have been getting some more students teaching online, and am absolutely loving my job. And so my goal was to get 15 students, and right now I'm at 13. So
Shush, really?
Close to my goal. I would love to get more. I'm actually working, getting some homeschool students. So I may exceed my goal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is very exciting. And so tell us, how did you end up getting those students, Liz?
I really think that they have come from learning how to market myself. So through this Jumpstart program, I have gotten some ideas, made my flyers, I've put them up in the libraries where I'm tutoring in person, and through my website and Facebook page is really where, and a few through referrals, but mostly through those venues.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And more people
Thank
are
you.
looking for tutoring services. They're more open-minded to online than they've ever been before. So tell us, before you started the Jumpstart program, how did you feel about your business?
I just, I think that I was really struggling with how to get more students
Mm-hmm.
and just not feeling real confident, I think, about my services and what I could do to get new students. And through the
Mm-hmm.
program, it's definitely helped me to build my confidence to get more organized. The
Mm-hmm.
90X planner has helped me, as well as just some other ideas that I've gotten from the program that have helped me to become more organized with the students that I do have, and to become more confident with getting more students. I'm still gaining
Mm-hmm.
that confidence, but yes.
Yeah, for sure. Because we all have that imposter syndrome that comes on in, and that doesn't go away. Like, I wish I could tell you guys that, like, once you hit a certain part, like, imposter syndrome completely goes away because you hit a new goal and you hit new aspects, and you're like, okay, when you set that new goal, all of a sudden imposter syndrome starts seeping back on in. Like, who am I to do this, or who am I to do that? And so everybody experiences it, and I think it's really important for people to know. So there were some of these mindset things that were kind of going on as you were going through the program. Did any of them resonate with you as you were kind of listening to some of the things that most people go through?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'd never really heard of the imposter syndrome before. And then I really understood what that was. Because as
Yeah.
you say, I've gone through am I really qualified to do this? Do I really know what I'm doing? Why do these parents trust me to help their children? But I see results with my students, and I get positive feedback from parents. You really are helping my student or my child to do better in math. And I've also, through this program, realized that I am a middle school math tutor. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really know what my niche was. And that was another thing that I really feel has helped me is I work with a lot of middle school math students. So I started taking an online algebra class also, so that I can boost my skills to make myself feel better about what I'm teaching as well.
Oh my gosh, sure. And I think that's the coolest part, is that once we start realizing what our niche is, you can start even diving into it deeper and getting better and better and better at it. Whereas when you're kind of like tutoring everything, you don't really have that same kind of motivation or drive. But when you find that passion, it no longer feels like you have to do it. It feels like something that you want to do because you want to be of better service to your students.
Yes, and I think going into tutoring, I wanted to be as wide open as possible. I wanted to say I can teach all the subjects, I can teach every grade and age level, but by really narrowing in on saying math is my expertise has, I think, helped my confidence and has helped my business grow.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because people think that the more things that they kind of are able to check off that they can tutor, that they'll get more students. What they don't realize is each thing that a child struggles with has its own language and concerns that a parent has. And when you can start tapping into that, then you can start marketing in a way that people hear you. I'm all about attraction marketing. So being able to like listen to what your ideal clients are going through, you can use that in your language. Beth was just sharing an example of how she struggled with math in an earlier call I was doing today, and she's like, "Yeah, I like math kind of freaked me out." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like telling the other person on the call, I'm like, "Write that down." That's what people say. They say, math kind of freaked me out. Like, write that down, because if you write on that on your website, right? Does math kind of freak you out? All of a sudden, people are like, "Yes, math kind of freaks me out." Like, how did you know, right? And this is how you
Right.
know, because you're paying attention, and you now have somebody to talk to, right? And that makes a huge difference. What were some of the big game changing takeaways for you as you went through the Jumpstart course?
Um, I think I've learned a lot about myself through the different assignments and materials that we were presented with, and listening to the other tutors. You know, as a classroom teacher, I always had those connections with other classroom teachers, but then coming out on my own, didn't really have people to connect with. So making the connections with the group, that my coaching group, Beth, Heather, and Jeff, and those other people that have been in my group, I've really been able to grow and learn from them. And I feel like that has been so valuable that it was something I didn't realize I needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I love it. I love it. And so how many, did you say that you got 13 students as you went through the program?
I believe I had 5 when I started.
You had 5 when you started. Okay. So it was more like about like 8 students that you ended up getting as you kind of went through the program.
Yes.
Awesome. You guys, that's really incredible because Heather here, she ended up getting 17. So just between these 2 people, right, that's 25 students they were able to get in like 9-10 weeks. I mean, that's pretty impressive stuff. There was a total of, so far, last I counted, there were like 60 students that were gathered because of the program, and we had some people that, you know, are the big hitters and bring home like lots and lots of students, and I absolutely love that. And now that you've accomplished this, you've gotten those 8 students, how do you feel?
Oh, incredible. I mean, I really, when I had, at the beginning of the program, I think it was the first week that you asked us to write our best goals. And I put down 15, and I saw other people who had like 3 or 5. And I thought, am I, have too high of expectations? And that scared me a little bit, like maybe I should lower that. But here I am, close to my best goal.
Yeah.
That is, so I'm just over the moon. I'm just so excited, and I feel like I actually can make this my full-time job. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's that when we start making that realization, wait, this can be my profession. Like, I don't have to get another job. This can be my job. Can be what I do, and I can make really good money being able to do it. That is incredible. So if you could go back and give yourself advice when you first, got started, what advice would you give yourself now?
So I think the main thing I would say is to believe in myself, because that's something that I always struggle with. Can I do this? Am I good enough? That whole imposter syndrome that I didn't know existed. I think that I would just tell myself to stay at it, keep doing it. 10 weeks seemed daunting, and, there was a lot of work that went along with those 10 weeks, but I feel like that's what really helped me was all of those assignments. It kept me motivated. It kept me going towards that goal. It helped my confidence knowing that I could gain more students. And, I really feel excited about being able to go forward from this point.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me in the class too, they said, what I liked about the assignments is that the assignments were things that we needed to do in order to get our business up and going. Like, they weren't like the kinds of assignments that you get in school where you're like, oh my gosh, this is just busy work. Like, this may have felt busy at times, but it wasn't busy work. It was things that were going to help you get students or change some thoughts that were holding you back from being able to get students. Like, a lot of people don't realize that our own thoughts actually can hold us back from getting the types of results that we want to get. And we think only what we see on the outside. All I need is new students. That's it. We can't see anything else. We've got like these blinders, right? But when we start unpacking what's going on inside of our brain, how that's holding us back from being able to get what we want, it really can be a huge game changer for people. So for somebody who is like, I've always wanted to take Jumpstart, or I've never heard of Jumpstart, but it sounds good, but I don't know if I want to take it. What advice would you give them as, we begin opening the doors next week for them to be able to join?
Oh, I would definitely say you need to take the jump into Jumpstart because because it just is a well-rounded way to get started into or continue, because I had already started, but I didn't really know where to go. And that's what I feel like the Jumpstart program has given me, a path
Yep.
to move forward, ways to market myself, because really I felt like that was my biggest roadblock is I didn't know, I knew I wanted to tutor and I had a couple of clients, but I didn't know how to move forward. So that's where I feel like the Jumpstart program really helped me to figure out my niche, where to go, how to be organized. I feel like even my desk area is so much more organized because I've organized my tutoring and my schedule and my materials. So it's been a game changer for sure.
I love it. I love it. And so for those of you who haven't had an opportunity to join us next week, I have a free webinar, and it's called How to Create a Profitable Online Tutoring Business. And through that, you're going to learn, what are the pieces that I need to have inside of my business. You're going to get to hear more success stories of people who have, gone through this process and gotten success and gotten the results that a lot of us wish that we had. And it's a really good, now you attended that webinar, didn't you, Liz?
I did, yes.
What was your experience when you had gone through that and you saw that?
I think that was really what helped me to dive in to sign up for the Jumpstart program. It was something that I had seen, in the past that you had offered the Jumpstart program. And I, kind of like you were saying, should I do it? Is it worth it? And is it really going to help me? And even the first week or two, I felt that way. Like, is this really what I need? And then going through it and making those connections with the other tutors, finding my accountability partner who wasn't part of my, coaching team, is really all around helped me to grow as a tutor and in my business for sure.
Yeah. And we do start slow because we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows where they need to go to be able to find the resources, the materials, the calls. Like there's a lot to kind of process in those first couple of weeks, even though you're not actually like working on your business at that point in time. You're just learning like, where do I have to go and when, and all that crazy stuff. But then when we get that all sorted out, it's like, bam, we take off for the races and you begin learning immensely. So if you haven't signed up for that webinar, Beth is going to put the link inside of the chat, or I've also put it in the descriptions. You can find it there. It's called How to Create a Profitable Online Tutoring Business in 2021. And you can click that link or copy it and paste it and put it inside of your browser so that you can sign up. When I was looking earlier this morning, we have 107 people that have signed on up. So don't miss out. You definitely want to sign up for that because you'll learn a lot more about creating a profitable tutoring business without spending a dime. Okay. And you'll also learn a little bit more about the Jumpstart program if that's the next step for you. So we also have here today Heather Bourne. And Heather is do you do ACT too or just SAT?
ACT, SAT, and math.
Look at that. She is the girl. So if you're looking for help in those areas, have a child struggling in those areas, or you know somebody who's struggling in those areas, this lady is the real deal. She is the person that you need to check on out. Heather makes phenomenal amount of growth inside of the business. I know that she was really scared to take that leap in the beginning. It was kind of like, do I do it now? Because I remember talking to Beth, and Beth was like, Beth is friends with her, for those of you guys that don't know. Beth is friends with Heather, and Beth was like, yeah, my friend's going to join in the next round. And then all of a sudden, she's like, Joanne, my friend joined. I was like, what? What happened? But through the course,
baby.
through the course, you ended up getting 17 students. Woo! Wow.
Did.
That is amazing. Amazing. So what, before you did Jumpstart, what were some of the things that were going through your head?
I was trying to do it, I've tutored in a brick and mortar for quite a while, and I thought, well, this will be no big deal. I'm just going to go ahead and put myself out there. And come to find out, people don't know my name outside of my little tiny town. I wasn't getting any kind of reaction, any kind of feedback. I was getting nervous, you know, the knot in my stomach. Maybe this was a mistake. All of those things that go through your mind. And then I actually had lunch with Beth, and she very gently said, I don't really think you understand how I've been sharing with you for the last, 3-4 years about this program. And I heard it for the first time, and I heard it right when I needed it, because that's the way life rolls. And, you know, and that's why I pulled the trigger and came to this one instead of the next one. Even with the decision to come to Jumpstart, which is the best decision I've made in my business, hands down, bar none, I was like, well, I've put some money in Google Ads, which did not have any payoff at all for me. Mm-hmm. I had put money into a website. I put money here and there, and I was like, I can't afford to do this. And then I thought, no, I can't afford not to do this. And it's truly the best decision, hands down. And it was so much less expensive. And the value add was huge, just the numbers, but more than that, I mean, the imposter syndrome thing, my confidence to go outside of this area, like, this is my safe spot. I'm comfortable here. I've succeeded here at home, but I want to go national and online. And because of you giving me the ability and the tools to get past the imposter syndrome, at least for this next step, I was able to do that. And I got a client that you know about. I got a client in Washington, D.C. I'm from Ohio, through a flyer campaign for something else. But I got this student, and I'm going to earn $4,000 in a month and a half from one student, because they want to tutor 6 days a week. Wow. And so it's been incredible. And now I talked to the dad yesterday, and he's contacting 2 private schools in the DC area to see if I can go into the school. So I may be taking a trip to DC to do a workshop, get my face in front of a group of people. But then last night, and this is the other, sorry, I'm like blabbling. Is it cool that I keep babbling?
No, you're good. No, just keep going, my friend.
My other babble is, this just happened last night, so it's hot off the presses, because of our beautiful group. So Liz and just all these people in our group, we have really established communication. We just last night set up a group text with our areas of expertise and our websites and stuff, so that we can help each other grow. Yes. And Justine sent me a contact of a friend in California who it wasn't in her niche, but it was in mine. Mm-hmm. And I have my diagnostic session with them tonight at 10:30 p.m. because California. But I'm so excited. So now I am DC in California, and it's Jumpstart. I wouldn't have done it.
Isn't it amazing? And a lot of people, I think, like, a lot of us have heard of like BNI before. For those of you guys who haven't heard of BNI, it's where businesses, they network with each other and they help out each other, and they are required, like, to share the names of the people inside of their group, and they have to meet every single week for an hour. Like, they have like strict rules, like, to be part of BNI. And I remember going to something like BNI, and in my group there was a Tupperware consultant, a real estate agent, a lawyer, and somebody who had not a clue what she wanted to do as a next step in her life. And she was actually our leader. All right. So I attend this meeting that's like BNI, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I have to be here every month for 2 hours, and for what? I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I feel like I am so in the wrong place. Like, these people don't even know people with kids. Like I understand, like, everybody's got kids. Somebody could be struggling with reading and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. And then I got invited to a BNI meeting, and I sat there. It was the most boring meeting I had ever been into in my life. I remember I had to go to a restaurant. I sat down, we ate dinner, and then somebody came on up to me and said, I want to introduce you to this person. And they introduced me, and whatever. They didn't like I didn't have an elevator speech. So they're like, I'm sorry, you really didn't explain very well what you do. I'm like, I'm a reading tutor. I close the gap full year with 8 to 12 hours of instruction. I don't really know what else you want me to tell you. Like, it seems pretty clear to me. like, but I didn't have like that 30-second like elevator speech. And so they were just kind of like looking down on me that I didn't have the lingo and this kind of stuff. And I was just like, I am never coming back to another meeting like that ever again. This is a waste of my time. And I started thinking, what would be more useful? And I thought, tutors hanging out with other tutors. Because you know what? We always have students that we can't take on. And we always, if we know people, it makes us more valuable because we're like, oh, I know someone who can help you there. I know somebody who can help you there. It makes us more valuable. It makes us feel helpful. We love to be helpful. And it's a win-win for everyone. Like, how amazing, right? So I'm so glad that you guys did that. So you had the opportunity to experience that, because a lot of people don't get that opportunity to experience that and what that's like. Because us tutors were kind of snobby. Sorry, I'm just going to say it, you guys. We're kind of snobby. When it comes to referring people, we're snobby. We only like to refer those people that we know, like, and trust.
Yes.
If we don't know you, we ain't referring you. So if somebody just like randomly like messages me and says, will you give me students or will you refer me? No, it doesn't even matter if you pay me, because I'm somebody who has my morals in the right place, and it doesn't matter. Like, my reputation means more to me than your income, right? So I think that's a really important thing to just for people to take away. And that's why we have the Insiders Club, so that people can come on in and they can continue that networking and being able to do that as well. So so you were really in the beginning stages of starting your business, weren't you, Heather?
Yes. Yeah, I had just a month in, probably. I was about a month in, and I had started the website, which I would have done differently too. You know, I spent a few $1,000s getting a website together that now I know I could have done on my own, but thanks to you, I could have done it on my own. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's in place and whatever. But yes, I was flailing through 1 month, and then thank God found you. And seriously, it's just been incredible. So I can't say, and I cannot wait to sign up for the Insiders Club.
Yeah.
Just circle back to what you're saying, because the accountability piece has been enormous for me. I am a squirrel. I am like the definition of just, my brain goes everywhere, and it kept me so focused. I got the homework done, the compound effect, the ideas behind compound effect, Slight Edge, the book that marries with that. I really have put that into practice of the doing the 5 things a day, and just doing, even if it's only for 5 minutes, still do the things on my list every day, even if it's for a little bit of time, just do it. And remember, I have to tell myself this all the time, like a mantra, it's the long game. Instead, you know, it's not going to be what happens by the end of this week. It's going to be what happens by the end of this year. I was fortunate enough, I started thinking about this like a year ago, and I started squirreling away all my extra money, speaking of squirrels, and just living like I had nothing. And I was able to save up almost a year's income. So I have this time, and I didn't even know then that it would be time to put the compound effect into play. Yeah. You know, I can go slow. And if I mess up on my YouTube videos, which I have, it's okay. I can do it again. Yeah. I can make it better. I can learn more. I can call the tech guys and say, why I've created 3 Facebook pages. None of them are right. Now nobody knows how to friend me. Help me. I can do all those things because of Jumpstart. I mean, it's just, yeah, good stuff.
I love it. I love it. And we all do have that squirrel mentality. And it's really funny, because the more busy you get, the less squirrely you get. The less, because you have the less time to really like hop from idea to idea to idea. But then like the busier that you get, you get very focused. And so it's like, oh, okay, I have 3 moments today where I can complete something. What am I going to complete? And it's always an income producing activity. So it's really interesting how that all like kind of plays together in part. And so what were some of the big game changing takeaways for you as you went through the course?
I mean, so many, all the ones that I just listed. I mean, there's just been so many. But I think now that it just finished up, upon reflection, a couple of things. One is that I get to revisit the lessons. I mean, that's so rare. That doesn't happen. And so for me to now be able to go back and in slow time, listen, take notes, and really take a deeper dive with this. It's like taking the course again, really. And moving forward is such a big, I love how you give us the next resource. You know, you kind of compound effect us. Okay, here's your next little thing. Here's what you need. If you want to deepen your success level, do this. So the takeaway there, and the takeaway of honestly, just watching, you lead by example so well. And I've said these words to you before. There was never a top-down kind of feeling for me. It was never, ooh, here's Joanne way up here. You just walked alongside. And I truly felt like, okay, here's this friend slash mentor slash successful businesswoman who doesn't talk down to me ever. And that gave me even more confidence to do it. And with the imposter syndrome, for me, what that did, in a lot of ways, that helped me a lot. Just hearing that term, I hear it in my head all the time now, but with what I charge, I increased with my cottage, with my at-home live business here. I jumped by $5 and I was like, ooh, look at me, like in the first couple of weeks of Jumpstart. And then when I went online, I was like, no, I am worth more than that. And so I really jumped my rates. And man, talk about it, just saying that amount out loud made me like physically ill. My stomach would hurt just saying, well, I'm charging this, until it didn't hurt because nobody even balked at it. I was like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Nobody even like hesitates. They're like, okay. So that's been huge because that's huge monetarily also for me.
Right. Because you went from 75 to 100, right?
Yeah, I went from 70 to 75 and then 75 to 100. So yeah, so I'm at 100 now. Nobody's balking at it. And who knows, I'll revisit that because at some point, my client in Virginia, they're in one of the richest counties in the United States. But he said, you charge 1/4 of the tutors here.
Yeah.
So they're charging $400 an hour. I'm like, what?
Yep.
And that would not sustain itself, I don't think, across the country. But at the same time, it's just getting those things in my head. And so, yeah, that's some of the things that were huge. And, of course, the way Beth, having the breakout groups, again, because you're developing this team, this team of friends and there's JJ, sorry.
There's JJ. Hi, JJ.
He has become, by the way, and this is partially, here's a side note, from seeing him on Jumpstart on the screen, he's my mascot. I'd already kind of had that idea in the back of my head, kind of like Yoga with Adrienne, if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah.
Highly successful. She cleared 7 million last year.
Yeah.
Online. And she has Bailey, her dog. So now I have JJ. He's even on my website. I did the research of, how dogs are, release endorphins and they're a big help in the academic setting.
Yeah.
So JJ's actually my mascot now. So.
I love it. JJ, you've got a big role to fill there, and you are totally capable, my friend. No imposter syndrome for you.
Right. No.
You've got this.
Imposter schmoster. I'm good.
That's right. So now that you have gotten, these 17 students in like 9 weeks, how do you feel?
Tired.
Yes.
But tired in a really good way. No, right. I feel my confidence level has gone up so much. I know not only what to do for the next step, but I know what not to do, what doesn't work for me personally. Like Google Ads, just to use as an example. For me, it doesn't work. And that's not going to be for everybody. That's another thing I've learned is it's different for every human being.
Yeah.
For me, my money needs to be invested elsewhere and my time needs to be invested elsewhere. But no, I feel so good. I am so excited. I told my daughter today, my 18-year-old, she made the comment, Mom, you're always on your computer or your phone right now. And I just want your time. And I was able to say to her, well, let's go out and spend time together. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go take a walk, something where it's just the two of us, because in the home has now become, you don't see me going out to a job every day.
Right.
But I am building my future and your future by transitive property, math. There you go, Liz, transitive property. And, so I get to model it for her too.
Yeah.
This is a season where that it has to be that way, but it's energizing because like Liz, I feel guilty sometimes that I love what I do so much. It doesn't feel, right now it kind of feels like work because I am working to build a new business, But I love tutoring so much, it never feels like work.
No, it really doesn't.
I love it so much. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like every single day. I'm just like, when people like talk about retiring, like, when are you going to retire? I'm like, I don't have to. Like,
No.
you know, there are those people like, I'm going to retire by the time I'm 30. I'm like, wow, you're going to have a very boring rest of your life.
Yes,
like, literally,
that's
like, if you have no purpose and you have no drive, like, what is going to get you excited to wake up in the morning?
I know. I agree.
I feel like we need purpose. Like, this gives me purpose. Like, hanging out with you guys and you know, and running my own tutoring business and working with my students, it gives me drive, it gives me purpose, and I love the way I feel every single day. No longer do I dread my Mondays like I used to when I worked in the school system. I'm never scared that there's a boss who's going to fire me, like, because I did something, or like scared if I get called into their office. Like, that used to, like, I have a little bit of social anxiety, so probably not as extreme as some other people do, but a little bit, like, where I would like literally like have some heart palpitations if I was like called into the principal's office. And it could just be like a conversation he just wanted to have, not even anything big, but like, I'd be like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Did I do something? Did I say something? And I'd like look back in my life, like, did I do something bad? And, you know, sometimes they'd be there to say something good, right? But there was always that fear, like always underlying fear that was there for me. And I don't have that anymore. It's completely removed and gone. So if you were to give yourself advice when you were in that like decision moment, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? What advice would you give yourself in that moment right now?
Should I do the business or should I do Jumpstart?
Should I do Jumpstart?
Jumpstart. The advice I would give myself is don't hesitate. You know, I mean, I balked for a millisecond, and that it's going to be the best thing you do for your business, bar none.
Right.
And listen to your dear friends like Beth, who so gently and lovingly kept saying, I don't think you're really understanding the way I'm trying to convey this to you, which was such a sweet way of saying, hello.
McFly.
Yeah, McFly. That's so funny because I call my understanding of my higher power God is Biff.
Oh, nice.
Because he's always going, hello, McFly. That's so funny that you said that. But yeah, the advice that I would give myself, and the advice that I'm giving other people now already, is make this your first line of defense. Make this the first thing you do, because everything else folds out from this. You just do such a beautiful job of that. I didn't understand how to advertise. I didn't understand the best way to do my website. And, you know, a big thing that I've learned too is it's okay to make mistakes.
For sure.
Even if they cost money, because you're paying to learn just by making a mistake. And so all of those things together, you know, and it's just so fun. I took my girls with me to put flyers out last week. Nice. And they got to see these other business owners being excited for me. And, you know, it was cool. And so that's the other thing, you know. Yeah, and you're so, you know, your family's first, and you've conveyed that so clearly in the Jumpstart classes also, which is probably something you didn't even like plan to model in the class, but you did. You know, I remember when you were like, I've got to cut the meeting right on time because I'm going to go and spend this time with my daughter. You know, you modeled that for me too. And that's why I'm doing this. And so if I'm not carving out that time, then I'm not accomplishing part of the goal that I set forth. Right. And so, I mean, that's what I would tell myself. Yeah. And I would be absolutely giving myself the best advice in the world. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And next week I'm taking my family to Florida, and we're going to hit a couple of beaches. So nice. We leave on Wednesday, and I'm not taking my business with me. So in the past, when I was first getting started, I always took my business everywhere I went, you know, because it could travel with me, and I could do things. But now I think my kids need a different side of me. They've seen me hustle. They've seen me work hard, but they also need to see me, you know, just really pour into them at times as well. So we're doing that. And plus my other daughter, sometimes she'll come down to my office like right when I'm like done with a call. She knows when my call is done, and she's feeling really lonely these days because the other two are, one's a senior in high school, so she's never home, and the other one is a freshman in college, so she's gone. So she's feeling really lonely these days. And it's like, okay, you are my priority right now. I know how you're feeling. I know that you're struggling, and I am going to be mom for you. You know, you might only want me for another year or two. Who knows, right? Once she gets a car and she moves off, she may not need me anymore. She might be like, all right, I'm good to go. I got over that hump and I made it. And mom was there for me when I was going through it. But, you know, that's my goal, is that they can just remember that I was there for them, that I didn't always put the business first on top of them, that while I prioritized the business, I never prioritized over their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And I think that is an important thing for us to be able to see. And I think there's an important thing too. A lot of people think, I mean, it seems like such a glorious, beautiful idea, doesn't it? To buy a Facebook ad or a Google ad. It sounds so sexy, doesn't it? Like, I'm going to like make this ad and like, I'm going to get clients. And here's what people don't know.
Nope.
Because we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
Those are all cold leads. Nobody's heard of you. Am I going to click on something that I've seen before? Like I've seen somebody's face? Yes, I'll probably click on that more likely. Well, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to click and then they're going to leave. You're going to have a high bounce rate. And you're going to be, every time they click, your bank account clicks too. Yep. That's another $3. That's another $3. That's another $3. Every click, $3, $3, $3, $3. And we think, you know, in the beginning, we think, oh my gosh, but I know like this is going to work out. Like everyone says do Facebook ads. Everybody says do Google ads. Like literally just open the website and the Google and it'll tell you purchase these ads. Don't ever go without ads. And there's another way to do it without running yourself into the ground, for sure. And I know like Beth even struggled really, really heavily with the whole Facebook ads. I mean, it's not that hard to create an ad, guys. And that's what makes it sexy. Oh, this is simple. This is easy to do. All right, cool. Let me do this. I can even choose my demographic. Well, what's a demographic if they don't have kids that are struggling in the area that you teach? You can't break it down that far. You can't break it down to people that are looking for tutors. If you could, we're talking a whole nother game changer, but you can't. So you've got parents or grandparents that are clicking on something, but they don't know what they're really clicking on. They click on it. They get in like, oh, I have to sign up for something. Yeah, no, I'm out. Or they like get to your website because you point them to the wrong direction. You don't point them to an actual call to action and they're gone. And now you don't know what to do and you're out thousands of dollars. So there's one person when I said, he said he's really, really great at Facebook ads and he wanted to speak at our Impact conference. And I said, that's not a topic I will allow. I'm not going to allow it because it sounds really sexy. Everybody wants to do it, but I've only seen people lose money in it. I said, maybe it's a great strategy for people who have tutors underneath them. But when we're talking about that, I'm getting paid for my time.
Right.
And now you're going to decrease the amount. Like that is a huge decrease. Like if I got to pay $5,000 in order to get one person to say yes, there's no ROI on that. There's no ROI on that. The only person who loses is me as the individual tutor. So yeah, it's a really stinky strategy to use in the beginning. And it's really stupid for people to say this could work for everyone because it doesn't. If it did, everyone would be doing it and getting success, and that's not the case. That's not the case at all. And people need to hear those stories too, that look, we can teach you how to do the strategies, but people are like, oh, well, I'll hire someone to do my Facebook ads. I know that sounds sexy too, doesn't it? I'm just going to hire someone to do it. It sounds so good. Guess what? Still doesn't work. Nope. I did that. I hired someone to do my Facebook ads for me. I broke even that time. Mm-hmm. That was better because in the past I had just lost money.
Yeah. But
this time around I broke even. Am I happy with that result? No, not happy with that result. So, I think it's things sound really good in the beginning. What has to happen is, I think as tutors, we have to realize there are things that you can do that are really simple in order to get students. I'm going to teach you how to do those strategies so that you can get those students. Okay. some of the things you're going to be like, no, I don't want to try. Some of the things you're like, okay, I'm going to try it even though I don't want to. And some of the things you're going to be like right on board and you're going to want to try them right away and get started. And wherever you are in the stage with that strategy, just know that you can always revisit and come back to something again, right? Like the more things that you try, everybody always wants to know, what is the one thing that I can do to be able to get students? So if let's pretend that somebody asks you that now that you guys have gotten students. Liz, what's the one thing that I can do to get students?
Oh boy. After taking the jumpstart class?
No, usually people ask it before they take it. What's the one thing that I need to do to get students?
Oh, I would have said, put out ads, because that is something that I did, not knowing what else to do.
Yeah.
And so, that really was something, I set up a website, but I didn't really know where to go with it. So then those Facebook ads popped up. I also did ads through the neighborhood app, but I wasn't getting any students. So definitely my advice would be find those strategies. And through Jumpstart, that is where I found these strategies. And like Heather was saying, the strategies you gave us, plus in our coaching group, we would bounce ideas off each other, and somebody would say, oh, I tried this. Oh, that's great. So we would take notes, I feel like we were given so many more resources through you, and then through the networking of, working with this smaller group. Just opened my eyes. Yeah. So I would have before said, try ads, and that was really all I knew. I didn't know where.
But it didn't work. Go. You know what I mean? It's like, and it didn't work. I mean, that's the saddest part, because it's like, first of all, Facebook keeps changing their algorithm, and so does Google. But then and it's never like an algorithm change that benefits the person buying the ad at the end of the day. It is something that benefits Facebook or Google. It's not something that benefits the buyer. And so a lot of us solo freelance professionals end up getting snookered and the dream and in that dream that I could just like create one ad, and then my clients are just going to come soaring to me, and they're just going to love every second with me. And it just isn't the way that it ends up working. So the suggestion is, you guys, do not just try one strategy. You're missing out. You're really missing out if you just want what I'm hearing when people say that is, I want to skip the line and I don't want to do all the other things that people have done to get students. What you're really saying is, I don't want to do the things that don't work. But you don't know what doesn't work until you try a whole bunch of things. So you try a whole bunch of things, and everybody has like their own things that they're going to be really good at. Right? And it's not going to be the same for everyone. So for me, I found out pretty early that I really loved making videos. So videos ended up being my way of getting on out there, live streaming, doing videos, I had Skype in the classroom sessions with kids around the world. But getting on video was definitely my way of getting the word out there about what it is that I do, but not in a salesy way. And so you're going to find out what works for you, because you ask your clients when they come on board, so how did you find me? And they tell you, I saw your YouTube video. I typed into Google, tutor near me. I typed this in, I typed that in. I ended up, coming across you. And it's like, great. Sometimes I'll even ask them, like, do you remember what you typed in? So that they could tell me like what they typed in if they don't tell me, because that means that whatever they're typing in, it's working. And I want to continue to use that strategy because it is working. You can't determine what's working if you only try one strategy and you try it incorrectly. And I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people will try different things, but they try them incorrectly. And here's the thing. A lot of the strategies that I tell you guys about, you can do them incorrectly and still get students. I can help you get more eyeballs to see them based off of how you create your font and you design, your flyer and those kinds of things, the things that you decide to put on there. But you can create a poorly designed, like today, you could create a flyer and print out 5 of them and post them at your grocery store, your gas station, wherever you want to be able to post them, and you could still get a client. So just know that you don't have to do things perfectly. in order to be able to get students. You just need to be willing to try lots of different things so you can see what your forte is, and then continue to tap into the community so that you can start learning a better strategy around that strategy. Like, oh, well, if I format this and I change this, they call that split testing in the marketing world, A/B split testing. So if I just change the font color, if I just change the font size over here, or if I just change this wording over here, does that have a better result? And all of that kind of stuff. So that's why some people have really great results with Facebook ads, because they're doing that kind of testing inside of there to determine what their people want to see. And tutors skip that. They just go right for the jugular, like, okay, just hire me. And then boom, their money is gone. And then they just feel defeated, deflated, and unfulfilled. And they have nothing to show for their money. And it really stinks. But inside of this course, you guys are going to learn how to do things for yourself so that you have that ability to really get a better result in like these tutors. I mean, 25 tutors between both of you. Doesn't that feel like incredible?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
It almost feels like, I always tell people, okay, what we didn't tell you guys about Heather is that she had 100-fold investment. 100-fold. For those of you guys that don't know that, I learned the term yesterday from Beth. I knew exactly what she said because her dad's an investor. So I knew exactly what she meant when she said it, but 100 times her investment is what she ended up making. She ended up making over $30,000. I mean, come on, you guys. If I were to tell you, like, this is what you need to spend in order to make this, would you do it? Of course. And that's the sexiness that they give us on Facebook ads, isn't it? If I put $1 out, if I put $1 in, I'm going to get $5 out, right? Like, I don't promise that for you guys. Here's what I am going to promise you guys. If you do decide next week to join us in Jumpstart and you don't get one student and you've put in the time and the action into the program and you've done the assignments, I'm going to give you your money back. I don't deserve your money. I did not accomplish my goal. My goal is for every single one of you to get one student or a whole lot more. I've kept it simple for myself so that when you guys get that, I feel excited. I'm like, yeah, they did it. So I get excited. I get just as excited for that person that got one as I do for the person who got 17. Sorry, Heather.
Whatever. I love that.
I do, because, for some of us, that's all it takes is just getting that one for us to be able to see, oh, I can do it. I really can do this. Like when they get that one, because sometimes we just think I can't teach online. Sometimes that's one of the thoughts that goes through our head. Like, well, will I be able to do this online? That was a thought I had. Did you guys have that thought at all inside of your mind? Can I do this online?
Definitely. Yeah.
COVID helped with that.
Yeah, it really did.
It was forced. And that's, one of the, if there can be a positive outcome from a pandemic, that would be it for me, as it forced me online.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where this whole idea started for me.
Yeah. And my life was actually completely, I kind of felt like, other than not being able to go to the movies anymore or go out to eat, with my family, I kind of felt like my life didn't change at all with the pandemic, because I still got to do everything that I love to do. I still got to teach jazzercise. I still got to come here and like talk with you guys, and I still got to work with all of my students. Like life for me didn't change. It was just busier because I had more people. And so, it's just amazing stuff. And I want to thank you guys for coming on in today. We've got Ezekiel, and we've got, a great question. So Ezekiel asked a question. He said he bought the summer offering package of video tutorials on Kajabi in July. Is it the same as Jumpstart? No, it is completely different from Jumpstart. So those are just like one-off courses that you got access to. They're on different aspects of your business. I think there might be one on like mindset and being able to like change your mind about different things. One might be on goal setting. What we do right now inside of Jumpstart is I take you on a 10-step plan. There are 10 steps that we take, one step each week, right? Baby steps to be able to get to the goal that you have of getting one student or a whole lot more. So in week 1, we start off with really getting clear with our business goals. What is it that we want to accomplish? And then in step 2, you get an accountability partner, because we don't want to walk this journey alone. We want to be able to walk it with people who are going to support us. And then in step 3, you learn about 5 actions. What are 5 actions that are income producing actions, not time wasters, income producing actions that I could be doing, like creating a business card? That is not an income producing activity. Very few people make money off of their business cards. Okay. So that is not an activity that I suggest. So the actions that you take are specific to your business and they could lead into a student. And then I talk about, okay, so now that you have these leads coming on in, how can you convince them that they can do online tutoring? Right? Because a lot of people now, with the pandemic, I'm hearing lots of people saying, people are just telling me they want in person again. It's like, no, you're going about it wrong. You're definitely going about it wrong, because before the pandemic, I've been working with kids online since 2010. All right. So I was working with people before people even knew that this was even a thing and was even possible. And if I was able to convince them then, you can convince them now. Now, a lot of people, I don't try to go after those people who are going to be the naysayers, right? I go after the people that want online tutoring. So I help you first to find those people that want the online tutoring. And then if they need a little bit of extra little push on the convincing part, then I share some different things with you on what you can do. And then from there, I help you automate your systems. So you automate your systems so that you have that ability to all of a sudden say, okay, how do I deal with payments? How do I deal with, my schedule and organizing and all of that stuff? I make it super simple for you so that you can focus more on working with your students than having to focus on all the back end stuff of your business. And then from there, we start diving into your website. And a lot of people, they're like, I have no idea what to write on my website. Great. I help you with that. Like, well, how do I get my website so it can be seen by Google? Don't worry. I got you there too. Those are called keywords and SEO. I got you. And then there's how do I stand out from other tutors? Don't worry. I got you. I teach you how to create a video so that you can stand out from all the other tutors. And I help you with the verbiage that's going to be right for you. Not the verbiage that's going to be right for every single tutor out there. I don't give you like a script and say, here, say this. It's not that kind of a course. It's a kind of course where I say, let's dive deep into your ideal client. Because even though I teach math, my ideal client might be different. I might want to teach math to kids who have ADHD. Going to be a completely different set of things that I say when I'm trying to talk to that specific parent. And so that's what I create then. I put that on my video and I'm off and landing. And by that end of that 10 weeks, you will either have gotten one student, a whole lot more, or if you've taken all of the actions, I say, thanks for trying. Here's your money back. I won't take back any of your knowledge. I won't take back the course. I don't all of a sudden deactivate your account or anything like that. But I make it super simple for you to really make this something that you don't feel like is a high risk for you. It's more high risk for me, right? At the end of the day, because I'm like, if you don't get a student, I'm going to give you your money back. So at the end of the day, it's more of a risk for me than it is for you. So I think that's what makes the big difference between the program that you bought in July is just separate courses that teach you different things. Whereas this is not only a course, we set you on a path of success. And we do this together all at the same time. So some people, they buy courses and they just kind of sit and they don't do anything. Anybody buy a course and not do anything? Did you guys do that? Like you bought a course and just sat there. You never even opened it. Or you opened it and you're really excited to get in. And for the first couple of weeks, you dived in, you got there, and then something happened. Usually something in your life happened that kind of pulled you out a little bit, or you lost interest and you pulled out a little bit and you never visit it again. That is what happens when people are not supported when they take an online course. And that's not what we want to happen for you guys. So definitely join us for the webinar next Monday, where you're going to get to learn all about how to create a highly profitable online tutoring business in 2021. Can't wait to support you guys, continue to support you guys, and so excited, Liz and Heather, on your success in your business. You are rocking it. Amazing, ladies. Amazing.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing your story with people here, because this is what people need to hear. It's possible. You absolutely can do this. And there's nothing holding you back other than you at this point, right? Because I'm going to give you everything you need.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm so grateful to you. So thank you.
Yeah.
You are welcome. You are welcome. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.